I might end up having to shut Instagram because I want to share some links. Hello. Happy Monday. Hello. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let me know you can hear me okay. Say hi in the comments. And if you're watching a replay, say replay. Hi, Microloc Mastery Training and Certification Group. Hi, YouTube. I'm gonna take a moment to the comments kick in later. So I think what I'm gonna do is okay, looks like y'all are joining me over there. All right, bye y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off Instagram so that I can check and put maybe some links here. Say hi, let me know you can hear me, okay? Got exciting updates. Oh my goodness. Exciting updates this week. All right, if you're in the Facebook group, there you've been tagged in a post. I'm sorry to tag the everyone tag. Um I mean, I think some people like it, but I know I get tagged in everyone post, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I did want to tag y'all in the everyone post because there's some exciting time sensitive things happening this week. So one of the big things is today, well, it's a secret. If you're on the wait list, your enrollment already opened because there are many people that wanted to join, but you have a discount that no one else has. And I can't say that number, but there's one more, I think one more email is going to go out this evening to remind you that the wait list offer is going to expire. And then tomorrow we're going to open enrollment publicly. And then there's also a little secret. So it's really like if you check your emails and you stay a part of email subscription. I know sometimes people get a lot of emails and they're like, oh, you just find unsubscribe, but it's always a treat that comes along in our emails. If you hang around, you look at the email, so there is a treat in there if you read like the first 2 sentences regarding enrollment. Okay, for both the wait list and the regular. Once enrollment opens this week, well, it's opening this week. Those who you're automatically going to be offered and put into our June certification group. You don't have to do it. It's a free perk, which means that this is an exclusive group training opportunity for those who appreciate like group coaching support. You appreciate having to meet at a sorry meet at a certain time each week. So I think this go around we are doing Thursdays starting June 1st at 7 p.m. We have we break apart. Well, you'll know if when you enroll, depending on which one you enroll in the full training, you have that time that you can meet. And I absolutely love me and Tosha love the last group. I think we had about 14 people, but sometimes people can make a meeting, sometimes they couldn't, that wanted to do this together. So you can do it at your own pace as long as you understand what you need to do to certify. And so if you join and you want to be a part of June, or you were in the last one and you didn't quite make May certification, you're automatically going to be able to do June. If you're already in the program, you're going to have access. So don't worry. But anyone who is new was going to get this as an added perk. So this is extra coaching, extra time, no additional charge, and probably a discount depending on how you come in. And then you also get the business builder, which is the consultation modules, and all those documents is added in there. So I think it's just really exciting. If you know this is the time right now. And there's so many people that are looking for certified pros, not just anybody. And there's so many people that are, at least I'm hearing, and others are hearing, that I really respect the level of quality and standards that we have as a mission here. And so by showing your heart, by putting in your hard work and then displaying the results of your hard work and having endorsements behind it, people are going to, I think it's going to put you at an advantage. I'm continuously speaking out now against people who are people are being traumatized by people who are saying they're pros, and they're it's like a random roll of the dice. Like, what am I going to get? And when am I going to have problems? And what kind of problems am I going to have? And they are without fail constant comments about people's experiences, and people warning others to do due diligence when you're looking for a certified pro or a pro or a loctician. And so I don't want that to be in the equation at all. So that's why we have such standards. And they're not rigorous, but they're standards at a level of the quality that we're expecting the output to be. We're not going to just say do whatever, we'll pass you whatever, and we'll send people to you so that we can continue to have people going through these experiences and feeling no, we're going to have a certain level. Then so you can be like, yes, I absolutely I know absolutely know what I'm talking about, and it's been affirmed, and and hang it proud and say it proud because you made this investment. And so I just think this is a great opportunity to get plugged in. And there's many ways to be plugged in the network. You don't have to do it only one way. Some people do the whole shebang, and that's what we offer with the full training bundle. But some people are like, I just want to know how to do retightening and maintenance. I want to maybe start with my hair. I'm not sure. I want possibilities and I want options. And we're like, absolutely. You always have that option. People get even certified in one thing here with us, and they come back and they get more as they find like you could kind of test the water. So you don't have to go at any other pace other than your own. You may say, I want to join now, but I'm not sure about June certification. Maybe I would want to get it done a little later. Well, then you can just join in on the July one. You're in. Once you're in, you're in. And you're in with any opportunities and upgrades and things that come down the line. As long as you want to stay connected and you open your emails and you use your logins for your new platforms, you're always going to have in. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. So I really should have just put a visual, but I just tomorrow enrollment. Thursday is a free bootcamp, pre-bootcamp info session. Okay, we have people that have been enrolled into this upcoming bootcamp next week since April. We already have a good cohort, but if you want to be a part of this one and or you just don't know or whatever, you kind of want to ask questions or see what the experience is like, there's a free session this Thursday at 7. And you've been tagged in a post. See if I can just put it in the chat. Oh wow, there's a lot of I logged up Instagram and I have all these notifications. There's a you've been tagged in the chat that has the boot camp session. It's blue. Click it. It'll take you right to the page where you can enter your name and your email and register. Once you're registered you're registered for the event, for the session, and then you'll get an email reminder. You'll get the link. There's a possibility I may stream some of it here. I don't know, but it's better to register because then that way you can be like live in person asking questions and whatever you have. You can actually meet other people that's already starting with you, etc. And then we start bootcamp Sunday. I know, Sunday. But the thing is, it's 5 days. So you have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that we can be done by Thursday, and then that Friday. It's just harder to do it evening on a Friday. So I think that we start on Sunday evening, get you warmed up, get you started, make sure you know the process and your materials, and then we'll go into the curriculum. So that's this week. Very excited for those who've already come aboard. Welcome. And we have some other, oh my gosh, there's so much coming down the line. I don't know if we're going to be streaming live. I don't want to speak too much on something. There's something coming up this week. Someone you might, I think that when I'll let y'all know a little more later, because I don't want to spill the beans. That we have something exciting planned that we're working on this week. I think we might be live this week with it, but maybe not until next week. But it's really exciting. Exciting opportunities for our licensees, for the hybrid location training, hosting training sites. That is That is coming down the line this summer. We'll have get you started. So if you're in the program and you're certified, you're already in the pool. If you if you would like to make bag, like really help teach legally, teach our curriculum, and certify people and make all that money, and also get some startup funds for your business to help you continue to do that. It's all happening. I can't even I just like to say a little seed so y'all know, not playing around twiddling our thumbs. You see me go live a lot. I go live outside. I'm random. I look crazy sometimes outside. But that doesn't the information, um, I want y'all to focus on the information. Information is solid. The opportunities are solid. And you know the depths of like where you can go with this with the right information. Also, I want you to make the decision for yourself on where you want to invest your time and energy. So I never see comments. Oh, it's so frustrating because I'll see them later and then it looks like I'm not seeing your comments. So let me just log in here and see if, or maybe y'all are not comment. It's okay. Uh-oh. That's not me. Somebody else's live. So if you have any questions, it's very likely the algorithm, this is just a Monday and y'all are not seeing this, and it's okay. But check your emails. Check your emails. Yes, check your emails. If you have any questions, you can also respond to the emails. It's better. Well, yeah, you always can. You can always email us, but especially if you catch me live, it's great to just ask me directly. If you have any questions about anything with the bootcamp info session, remember the bootcamp is not certification. It's a much lower, it's a fraction, a minuscule fraction of the price of the cost of the whole system, the whole program, and you get a lot of value back. But you don't get the certification because I'm not going to be able to accurately teach and have you go through each step of the process and certify your skills in 5 days. But what you will have, well, a lot of people who still go through the program go through boot camp too, because it gives you, it's a particular boot camp challenge is an area, and it could change. It's an area that you are focusing on for improvement, laser focusing on knowing taking our framework and going with accountability each day. So you're learning a whole bunch of information, really like jam packed, and then you are taking that information and you are applying it right away. That's the purpose of the boot camp. It's like get in there and do action and see quick results from the quick focused action. And then 99% of the time, if you really are invested and you're going to the boot camp and you're doing it, you will have a positive return. So the feedback is or been positive. We take the feedback if any like slight improvements, because I know 5 days is long, so I did get a feedback about if it could be shorter. But I just can't give that. Well, maybe I did do a 3-day training option in the past, but this one covers so much more, and we go over all that information from that plus more. So I think the 5 days is where we are right now, but maybe there will be a shorter boot camp option. It just the information might have to be done a little bit different. So that is I wanted to offer that session before we start, a couple of days before we start, for people who are on the cusp, who were thinking who maybe wanted more information, to let you know it's still happening. We started talking about boot camp like a month ago. And so people are registered, people are ready. And so you're going to start getting your emails now. You're going to start getting your workbooks. You already got access to your online portal. Every time we do, you'll get information in there about when we go live. You'll be a part of the community. Hi, Facebook user. Thank you. And I'm just excited about that. I'm excited. I'm excited about June certifications by the end of June. So the end of next month, you could be ready and out. And also those who just went through May. So this week, you're also going to be presented with your licensee agreements, and we're offering you help now with finalizing. I see some people made some profiles. There's a lot of things happening this week, so I'm really excited. All right. Those are my 3. I thought it was going to take longer to say these things. Check your email. Waitlist. Your offer is expiring in a few hours. I wouldn't really play. There was another, the waitlist, the webinar offer. But people who enrolled in that, gonna have the biggest savings that anybody's gonna have this year. This is the second biggest savings anyone's gonna have this year. Because doing discounts all the time makes, I want to help people, but it also really doesn't. Things are set up in a certain way where it's not, the bottom line is the profit is not there if I keep discounting, but I want to help. As long as people take full advantage, that's all it's worth it for me. It's like, it's worth it. If I know these people are people who want this added support are actively engaged, and it's helping them complete the process, and it's helping them set up their whatever they're setting up and earn income, that's what's worth it for me. But if it's like I'm throwing offers and discounts and it's not being taken full advantage of, I think it's like, oh, or yeah, I want if you're really serious about it and you've been sitting on the table, it's people that have been kind of eyeing, this is kind of the time, because um I don't think that we're gonna, I think it's, yeah, I don't know how much we can't do, like keep doing 50% off every time, yeah. So we did do that. We did do a 50% off, and now waitlist has the second highest. And then there's another little special thing going tomorrow if you want to enroll tomorrow. And then you'll have your bonuses will be your free additional coaching. You have all your supplies always. Yes. Okay. So what I wanted to do, this is gonna go long. So would y'all want me to do a little mini recap, like a 10-minute, 15-minute of some of the main points from the keys to Microloc Mastery that got the most, like people found the most value in? Because remember, I went over, if you have your workbook, I went over the best ways to prepare. I went over even how are you even defining Microlocs? And I went over how, when I was setting up like microlocs.com and the idea and concept had a standard, but being away, kind of disappearing, falling off the face of the earth for a few years and coming back, the definition is now, it's now different. It's not a consistent definition. You get kind of like inconsistent results. You really don't know how people are defining it. And so I went in a little bit more about that and about how some things may have come about with methods that weren't used, even when the OG sister locks decades ago were doing locks on this scale. And I've traveled to the Maasai village in Tanzania in 2021. They have they have a hairstyle that has small, looking like locks. So I actually met with Maasai hairstylists and we talked about that. And even the techniques, well, there's something called Maasai twists, which are twists, really, really small. They can go really, really small, but they're always temporary. And what they actually use, what you see when their hair that looks like locks, is actually not. And it just was very eye-opening. They actually, to the Maasai stylist, actually did not know about the technique that we train on with the interwoven lock technique. It was very interesting. I'm putting all that footage together for something special, and I'll hopefully make a trip back to them. But I spent 2 weeks and I don't know if y'all follow, I have a mentee that wants to be a hairstylist. She was 11 at the time, so she's probably 13 now. And so we very much were focused on hair and learning about some of the origins of a lot of the things that we see and do. And I say that to say it's very relevant to what I see when it comes to methods that were not designed to be long term. So when it comes to things that people do when they're trying to do something themselves, where they don't know how to do something, and it's kind of like a shortcut, but the shortcut is not, it can be problematic if you are on a pro level, and not just a pro in locks, because as I talked about in the workshop, was that there are different aspects of locks. There's different niches of locks. You can be very well trained in one area and you go to another area and it can be a whole new realm, because hair locks differently and has different needs when you are scaling all the way down to this. And so this is even smaller than, oh, some of a little smaller than the Maasai. But it was just very interesting. So I'm not, I don't know why I felt compelled to say that. Maybe because I've really invested a lot of energy into getting information to travel all the way to Tanzania, East Africa. It was amazing. And I spent a lot of my time in a village. I went to the Maasai village. I talked to the Maasai chief. I have it all recorded if y'all follow me. And I was all up in his head. He explained to me what the significance was. And he's not a hairstylist, so he didn't, but the Maasai hairstylist, we could talk more about hair and the structure of the hair and the cultural styling that they do. He showed, and I even showed it for free on my Instagram. He showed how he even did the Maasai twist. And it was just very interesting because now that I see people create or attempt to create locks of long term with the little twist, and then do something different on the roots, it was just very interesting. There's two different things, but also just understanding the fundamentals of hair in those two styles. They're like different worlds. So how the hair locks is different. So gosh, there's so many kind of weird coincidental moments because someone that traveled with me was a sister loctician, and then she goes to tell me later she was going to start someone's hair with two-strand twist, and I said why, and she said I don't know. It's just like, so there was a lot of full circle moments about um that, just why I affirm what I say, and you could take it or leave it. But on a pro level, why I think professionals need to do due diligence in educating themselves on techniques and hair, period. But also not just regular locks and traditional locks, but really educating yourself on how hair evolves in locks. And if you're charging people methods to do methods, I just said it out like brazen twist. How I don't feel that is professional level, and I'll put it out there, because if you you want a consistency with the lock, and if you don't know how to do or start a lock from the method that you're maintaining it with, then I would strongly advise people to not do that service unless you know how to do the entire lock with that method, so that you can understand how to repair and refine and create new locks when needed. You're not leaving things in someone's head for them to figure out what to do, or for it to go haywire and willy-nilly and look not the way that they want. And there are some people that are very forward facing with, clients and the public, and it's not time for them to be playing around and having things do, to kind of look, or not to say that people would be mean, but it's just, if you're investing in something, do it the way it's intended. If you're investing in someone doing it, again, if you are the person that's a free spirit and you like doing your own hair and you do whatever you want, that's different. But that's what I really, really went in. So that's why I invest and talk a lot about, and the curly ends. Yes, I'm not sharing a commissary, but it's because they weren't coming through. It's like it takes a while for me to warm up sometimes on the platforms, but those curly ends, and y'all remember the picture I showed? So that's why I'm on StreamYard, because I wanted to show y'all some of the pictures. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Oh, I did that story right. So I did a juice this morning with a lot of ginger, and I was like, I'm good. And now I'm like, every time it's like it's breaking down. Try not to be nasty, but it's trying to be healthy. So is it in here? Let's see. Oops, hold on. I think I might have the pictures in there. So let me see. Yeah, I think this has the pictures in it. I'm gonna show you what these curly ends do. Okay. Where's the pictures? Pictures. Oh shoot. I don't think I might hang tight with me if y'all want to hang tight with me. Put me on in the background for a minute. I'm gonna pull up this presentation, and I'm gonna show you some pictures. There we go. And probably because I don't do that repair work anymore. I was doing it. It felt like the social worker in me was like benevolence and charity, try to fix and save all the messed up locks, that people were experiencing. And I was like, I can't do it. I just couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't have energy anymore. My computer is doing weird stuff right now. I do recognize that. It might be choppy. It's taking a lot of power for some reason for me to pull up this slide. Um, just give me a moment. No, not that one. And I'm gonna pull up another slide. I have to download it in. Oh, well, it would help if I press download, right? Yeah, show it, Alex. Yeah, I'm gonna show it. We've had conversation. We've had conversation about this. I do a disservice when I stay quiet. A lot of us in different aspects of our lives, we're used to being quiet or going with the flow or not ruffling feathers or wanting people to like us or wanting to say what's popular or do what's popular, and you end up hurting yourself and others. Not to say you have to be mean, disrespectful, or harsh, but telling the truth and showing the truth, and then surrendering it, whatever your truth is, or what your experience is actually more beneficial and valuable for yourself and others. So it doesn't do me any, like, if no one ever gives me a dime again, but they save their money, they make a decision that gives them the best results, and they're like, whoa, I'm so glad I didn't do that, because this information was helpful, because I see, how you like you dodge a bullet kind of thing, and you could see that you dodged the bullet. Like, those kind of things are value. That's value, because it's like, if it were about just grabbing money, I would tell y'all anything. I would jump on a fad. I would jump on a train. Yeah, everybody, let's do two strengths, with knowing darn well for 15 years, the first 5, well, see, we didn't have, people weren't doing two-strand twists in the beginning of my career. I'm gonna be honest. My repair was on interwoven locks, but it was like that reattachment and the loose and really refining that. So those are the techniques I use. But when I started to see the other stuff, I think it's uploaded. I'm like, now this is just asking for for it on a pro level. It's not gonna look. I'm like, I don't know what's the goal for the look. Taking techniques that you use for traditional locks on a small level is a reason why it hasn't been done like that. As I said, it's a different realm. Yes, you can start locks, and I teach that in the course. There's ways people start locks, period, right? And they're traditional size usually, and they might use braids, they might use twist, they might use the coil for traditional size locks. Much more hair, much more. It's just much bigger scale. On a small, and if you're talking about, I want them as small as mine or other people's you've seen that were small, you are not talking about, my hair wouldn't be this small with a two-strand twist, especially if I started with a lot of hair. And just like, so people are like, I'm just going to do the roots in one particular way. You do the roots in one particular way. Why wouldn't you do the whole lock that way? Why wouldn't you just do the whole lock that way? That's where I know that that's a basic, simple question. People say, well, simple question I would ask to a pro. And then if people are like, well, I want a particular look because I have thin hair or I want fluffy a lot. So adjust your size, or go into the traditional realm and don't call them micro, or just get traditional size lock. Like you have to understand what you're asking for. You have to understand the nature of this from, like, okay, so let's upload. We're gonna look at these curling ends slides. You better have downloaded, because I gave it a good amount of time. How do I find today? Where you playing around? Last month, date modified. Custom all files. I don't understand why it's what is that? Slides. Do I have to upload them first? Like, what is present slides from my computer? Uh-huh. Okay. Upload. Yeah, it's some reason I'm not seeing it on here. I just downloaded it a million times and it's just not coming up. Put something in the comment though. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna just make sure that it goes to the proper folder. No, not that one. Any comments and questions? I can't see, maybe. I won't be here on here. I was about to say I won't be on here too long, but y'all know I said that if you went to the presentation last week, and I was like, yeah, y'all, we're not gonna be more, we're gonna be about 90 minutes. Oh, audio visit. Okay. I can still download it. Are y'all gonna play around? Let's see if it downloaded here. I understand if so it's not entertaining at this moment because I keep downloading and it's not downloading. This is so bizarre. I think maybe oh, I know. Okay. I know what happened. All right. I'm gonna just have to present it and share my screen with y'all, okay? All right, let's do that. All right. Copy an enrollment. Can I get a link? And share that link. Maybe that'll be better. So I have 2 Canva accounts, TMI. And here we go. Maybe it won't let me. Shoot. All right, let's share my screen. And I didn't want to let you, baby, last night. Won't let you down. Y'all could see my screen. We're gonna go through to the hair. Boom, 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 boom. Just going through the whole slide. Okay, here's one pic. Uh-oh, where'd it go? I'm going there. There it is. She didn't. This wasn't the curly ends, but this is just one of the pics that I was just like, oh my goodness, very puffy. Really tiny base with big puffy locks. You should have just got maybe traditional locks or re-part of that grid because now it's not. So these are some of the problems I was showing with braids, but the curly ends is back here. Hold on, y'all. I gotta go through it before I go present again. Sometimes this is why I wish I was like a second person controlling the screen because I put the slides out of order. So tell me, Alex, so you commented curly ends. What do you do in that situation? You're a pro that trained through our program. That I wish you would I think you got certifications. Did you make it to I think you or at certification or you made the certification. But what do you do in that situation? What do you do? Because it is just like, yeah, I don't really- it's not about like judging. It's about, oh, that's what someone in here, okay, versus I'm gonna go sit in a chair professionally. It, okay, I'll show you. A lot of clients are the curly end, and that's fine for them. So, what do you see long term? Are they saying curly ends right at the beginning? Or are they saying curly ends like how far into the process are they when they're saying curly ends? We can even get to the, oh my God. I just had
Definitely just a wonderful message.
on. Stop. That's not what I wanted to do. I found a picture and then when I shared it, it put it on a different screen. Like, why does it do that? It put it on a whole different, what's the number of this slide? Because now it's messing with my computer and it's so frustrating. Like, why would it go to a different slide when you were right on the slide I wanted to present? Well, this is why I need two screens. Anyway, it was a mess. You think of a bird's nest. Think of a lot of hair. Think of tangled weave, Kanekalon hair, plastic. Think of all of the hairs just all bundled together. That's what that tangled hair looks like. That's what the tangled hair looks like. Are you combing out the ends of that person's lock every day? And what does that do to, like, what is the purpose? Are you really equating a hairstyle foundation to the results? Or are you trying to create it to be something it's not intended to be and stay that way? Or are you embracing if it looks curly because that's just how the person's hair looks? Like I shared on my IG story. If you go to the IG story, the last thing I shared was hair, an install, and she has curly hair. So her ends curled, but her pattern was all the way to the bottom. Her ends still curl within the pattern because that's just how her hair does naturally. So if someone sees that and someone like me with a 4C hair, my locks, my hair was like lock. And we're not curls. Like that's not the curl of my hair. So it would be unrealistic for me to say I want curly ends because it's not my hair texture. What that does for me in my mind, I'm sorry, I think like this, but I can't help it. But I remember even going natural, how I wanted my curl pattern to be different than what it was. And so what I did was I went to in Brooklyn, New York, I went to Miss Jessie's Curve Salon. You know, the two sisters. Well, one passed, unfortunately, passed a few years ago. And they both did my hair and put this mini perm in my hair to loosen up my curl so that I could have, it was called a silkener, which was a low grade perm. And I'm being really honest because I have to be honest. I don't know what y'all see on my screen. I'm being really honest. I did not fully accept my hair texture. So I was like, if I'm gonna go natural, I need to have curl definition. When I go natural, 2003. So Miss Jessie's was blowing up with the curly pudding, and like they really led the game with the curls because they were mixed Japanese and black. Their hair was going to be curly and different, and I had a problem with my hair. I let them put that thing in the silkener in my hair, and then proceeded to have all my hair fall out. I did not accept my hair. I say that to say I know what the process sometimes is like for a lot of us Black women, and I'm not shaming. I'm not guilty. I can relate. This is also, y'all know I'm a social worker, I'm a therapist. I'm very transparent about my breakdown with my hair. And when I went into this realm, I had to surrender. And the reason why I like locks this small is because I was still able to create the locks that straight hair would have given, the styles that straight hair would have given me if I had weave or perm or braids, but it's my own hair. So it was a nice balance of I've allowed my hair chemically free to go into a pattern that we create for it so that it can do its thing naturally with guidance, be healthy, product free, hopefully, done very well and skillfully. You shouldn't have any tension or pulling or anything. And then it would just be left alone to be nurtured into the pattern and left alone to grow. And that's why I like this. So I tell people um, there can be problems with this though. If we're not really doing the structure of it solid or right to try to cater to um, unrealistic, something that your hair can't achieve naturally unless you change your DNA. But what you could do is start to embrace all the options and flexibility of options you will have when you really get it strong and solid, and then you go ahead and style it. So this is a messy curl, but I love to do spirals on my hair. I used to do the real tight ones, or I'll do the big ones, and they become waves. Like that's my thing to feel like I can play with texture, or when it's wet and y'all see pictures and my hair is just straight. Um, I love that. I love those options. And I still have I never slick, you see slick edges, you see naps. I don't care. You see a kitchen, I got naps all back here. And it's such a nice balance of accepting. So it's all about the texture of the client here. Sometime a year, they still have curly, okay, or it drops off. I feel the information you shared in the train last night is super valuable. Thank you for sharing. Oh, thank you, Tracy. It was what night was that? Oh my God, what night is today? Oh shoot. Today's Monday. When did we do the webinar? Thursday? The 11th. Yeah. Yeah, it will fall off. So when we look at people like yeah, I'm going to remove this slide and see if it can allow me to present a different slide. It won't take my thing, and when I try to share my screen, it just acts wonky and it won't let me go to this particular slides. There's 200 slides in that slideshow that we did for Keys to Microloc Mastery. I don't feel like flipping through 200 slides and y'all seeing it 200 slides go by. When I click a picture and I press present, it takes me to a different picture. So what I'm trying to do, I was trying to download it so that I can do it behind the scenes here and show you, but I just wasn't prepared to pull that up. I apologize. If you want to see, maybe I'll do an encore. If you would like me to do an encore presentation, it might even just end up being one of the new like webinars, because there's a webinar up. Fail-proof tips and steps to mastering Microlocs for success. But I can also create the Keys to Microloc Mastery. I do feel like that was a very powerful one that we talked about information that I never really talk about in a public way like that. I might share it to the group. I might share it, in our group coaching. But I was like, I have to say this because I felt like I didn't want to ruffle too many feathers. But I'm like, but why? You're constantly hearing these stories. You're constantly seeing this. And so I always say stuff like the glitz and quality over quantity, and don't get too swayed by the glitz and instant glitz and glamour in the moment of something that's very fresh and new. And let that blind you from, wait a minute, does that make sense? Or because that's when people were doing things, even with extensions, people were doing things like, I'm gonna put, the micro braids we would get back in the 90s. Like that's what I got right before I got locks. That's what I had I used to wear a lot because I like this look. But I never was like, I'm gonna put them in and make them extensions. Like, make them locks. They're not gonna magically turn into locks. People were doing things like that. And then someone was like, I know people don't always say how much they paid, but I know you paid 4 digits at probably around. Well, maybe not, but some people said they did pay like over $1,000 for someone to do that, for them to not lock and just be braids hanging. Like the concept doesn't make sense. How is that's gonna magically turn into a lock, or you're gonna have the roots? It just is so odd to me. I guess if that's what somebody is like, I want braids that I want to not ever take out, and we're gonna but then the braid sizing and the hair that you attach it to is much skinnier because you're getting box braids. and they snatch up 2 strands of hair and put a whole big braid on it. So now you got inconsistent and heavy, and to people, it just kind of like defy logic. And so I just challenge people to think about what makes sense, and what makes sense for how things evolve with hair, and what makes sense when you're dealing with permanency of locks. Um, and also, like, are you do you got time to play? Like, I know I don't have time to. When I get a service done by a professional, I get very upset when I have to go back to fix even my nails, anything. I had to go to this lady twice because my nails kept popping off the powder, dip powder nails. So I did these myself, but I would go and I'd be like, I'm paying her. Now she got to fix it. I got to drive all the way back over there because it popped off again. And you sit there cursing, feeling bitter. Imagine paying a few $100s or more for your hair, having to go back um, and figure out what's happening and why is this doing this, and did you know that this did this? And if they tell you, oh, it's fine, and I got mad at her because she kept saying, oh, this is gonna work, it's gonna stay. She was doing something weird, and it didn't, and I ended up not going to her anymore. It was a small service, but it's still the same energy. It's like, why do I keep going back to you? You clearly that's not working, or so, like, and then convince me it's just to get me out your chair. I just started my this last week about my daughter's hair memorial. Okay, well, you doing your mom's hair is different. You know, if you remember what we said about, I didn't mean to say it like that. I'm happy you or your mama bonding over here. I didn't know if you with the twist, if you're prepared to, or how you're gonna help that go through that process. Yesterday afternoon has been a godsend. Oh, thank you. My videos, y'all gotta be patient with me because I don't like. I thought about it. I was like, I know my videos are not like edited or extra fancy. I don't. I just put time into the information. I show up as I do. Maybe I won't go outside all the time because I was like, I look kind of crazy outside. But thank you. I just like to share. But if you remember, I don't think you then if you just stumbled upon me yesterday and you did not see, I would tell you to watch. Oh, you can't. You want me to share you some information now? I'm gonna share some information real quick, y'all, and then I'm gonna go because I gotta get my daughter soon. I don't recommend, on a pro level at least, or if you want less problems, to start with 2-strand twists or braids on a pro level. But if you and your mom is different, because I showed um a demonstration of the way that the locks will evolve and the tension that's needed for them to withstand on this side. I don't know how small you made yours for your mom, but on a small scale, and depending on her hair texture, it gives such a loose pattern. It's easy to come out. And it also sizing, it doesn't it goes bigger because it just swells out more. So not necessarily an issue, but if you're looking for it can be to be consistent as you continue to maintain it, depending on how much hair she started with and hair texture and different things like that. The process it can be unexpected, just kind of things that could happen. Not everyone has the same experience, but it's not something that I would say for on a pro level. But if you are doing mini twist, and then you are letting it lock, just know on this level, it's really not designed to give the strength needed for on a micro level. Twist for regular locks is a different thing. That's a different ball game. That's usually fine. You have a much bigger base, and it goes up. Your transparency, right on my lane. Thank you. Share. Okay. But, stay connected because I would love to support you on the process, even in any way I can, even if it's in this way for free, or you want to send an email or anything. People do sometimes. So I like to help, and it's not an attack, and I so appreciate you being open as well. That shows that's just really great when we can be like, I don't recommend it, but it's your mom. Like, you're not telling me I just took thousands of dollars from unsuspecting clients. You're like, I'm doing my mom's hair and I'm gonna do my daughter's hair. So it's a family. And the bonding and all that stuff is very valuable. I did my daughter's locks 3 years ago, and it was such a bonding experience. Um, and yes, definitely stay connected. Oh God, I keep telling y'all I'm gonna share. Um, do 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 do. Let me see if I could do a video file. Who's watched the experiment? I would say, Tracy, if you're connected, I have this video, this demo. Um, Lock methods. I should be able to show y'all some videos. Okay. So let me queue up lock methods. Okay. I want you to watch this real quick. It's queuing up. I'm talking about strong, refined locks that have a really strong foundation. I've been talking about problems with lock methods. And what I want to do today is show you putting these lock methods to the test. I'm demonstrating 3, and you will get to see the beginning. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna let it like catch up because it's like buffering a little too much. So I'm gonna rewind it and I'll press it again. For many, 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 many years, I've been talking about strong, refined locks that have a really strong foundation. I've been talking about problems with lock methods. And what I want to do today is show you putting these lock methods to the test. I'm demonstrating 3, and you will get to see the beginning. Why it keeps glitching, y'all? I'm sorry. Of what I talk about when I talk about how they evolve. I'm gonna show you the pictures first. You see in this picture, there are 3 ways. Yeah, is it glitching for y'all? Is it like making like stop and start sound? Because it's annoying, and I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of that. Let me know if it's doing that. I'm gonna close some of my windows so I can try to make the connection go faster. Because it keeps making that sound. All right. I don't know if y'all can hear me. So I'm gonna go ahead and press play. Ways. On your left is the interwoven. In the middle is the braid. And to the far right is a 2-strand twist. I use the same exact amount of hair in each section as if I was doing a foundation. You can already see right from the install size the differences, with the 2-strand twist being the largest, the middle braid being widest, it's flattened, and the interwoven being skinny. I'm gonna stop for a second because it is so glitchy. It is so glitchy. So I'm just gonna close some windows and press play on it. I do have a lot of tabs open. I apologize. I'm gonna go ahead and close some of them so I could get some computer power going and finish that clip. Okay, let's see. Whoa. Oh, wow. I even have the replay. It's taking all my computer power. All right, it should work a little better now. Let me see. You see all this. Let me remove it and add it back because you want to act. Wants to act funny. Okay, let's do it again. Whoops. Sorry, wrong one. many years, I've been talking about strong, refined locks that have a really strong foundation. I've been talking about is a two-strand twist. I use the same exact amount
It's
that's starting
glitching.
to come out already of the two-strand twist. The space that's there. And then you can see the braid is much tighter, but it also has, in its pattern, has the space in it flattened. And then you see on the left interlock. What I did was, I did a light wash, like I would do any new install. First of all, I'm wondering how much that is actually being done, because the first washing is actually crucial to the installation. I don't see it being done sometimes. So that doesn't give you an accurate look when you just have a two-strand twist dry, braid dry, or even interwoven lock dry. You actually are not going to still get a realistic look until you activate that curl. As you stretched out the curl, it's in a style. So after a light wash, let's look at what they look like. So already you can see the differences in the two-strand twist right away. That changed the most. And in the middle is the braid, and the left is the interwoven lock. We're talking about the fundamental structure. This is dried, is that I see spaces in the braid as well, and the loosening that sometimes happens at the bottom of the braid. The unraveling can start from the bottom sometimes, and also sometimes these spaces, because it's flat, I could turn it that way it's skinny, I could turn it that way it's wide, the holes in there. It becomes a big project if we're going to close it all up. And the interwoven lock, yes, that could happen as well, but it's designed to lock cylindrically. This, where's the pattern? The pattern in the twist is very weak. It's easy for me to just stick my finger in and unravel it. If you wanted it smaller or more refined and you started in another method, it could potentially be the method that used to start.
I'm sorry, y'all, that it was so glitchy. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know what is happening. I think it's the computer needs to be restarted. Listen, this freestyling it today. I when it's more prepared and we haven't actually planned, webinar or training, everything is queued up better. Right now, I'm just pulling up stuff as the questions come in because I originally came on to let y'all know this week. Well, the enrollment opened for the wait list already with a huge discount. And we have then the group coaching. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that before I get ready to go to. So June, we do each week. We meet together. You can go at your own pace though. As soon as you register, enroll, you get immediate access and then it queues you up to get your supplies. So your supplies, then they land on your porch. You come home, you're like, oh, you see this big box. You open up the box, you see all this other stuff. Now I like the dramatic effect. And then you're like, make your space in your home or wherever you're going to do your work and get started. And then you could see, okay, well, Thursdays at 7 p.m., starting June 1st, I'm going to go ahead and join the group. And I want to go together through the course with the group. Or you might be like, screw the group, I'm going to do this and do it my way. It's there for you for free. And then, yeah, so that opens tomorrow is public enrollment with something special in the email if you're an email subscriber. And then we have the free bootcamp pre workshop on Thursday at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in the bootcamp, and then I'm going to get to your comment, Alex. And then Sunday we start bootcamp. Alex, so Alex has been in our program for a long time. You just did a consultation with the client. When I checked her hair, she had braids. I asked her what want what you want me to do. And I'm just playing because I don't have experience. I didn't mean to add dramatic effect, but maybe so you're gonna probably get a nice flow of what to say. Many of you who've been through the program, especially, are tired of fixing stuff in way for foundations that you would not have started. Like, so some people are becoming more savvy with how they are um, saying it, but also maybe even before a client spends the time to come over. Or you might say, yes, I'll fix it, but this is what this is what it entails. And if you want any further maintenance or whatever, I don't do it this way. So I've always kind of just had like parameters within which I worked and said that. And so not everyone is going to be for you. Not everyone's going to like that you do that. And that's fine because um, you have to not be cleanup all the time because that it really drains you and also is damaging to your work. When let's say they love you, they stay with you, but the foundation and the quality just wasn't up to your standards that they started with or that you had to fix. So it's not going to look 100% like what you would have had it look like. So now there's examples, quote unquote, of your work walking around. Very common thing that happens. People are like, oh, where'd you get your hair done? And then it might be associated with you that that's the kind of quality or level of work that you do, and it's not going to be fully represented. So some people right off the bat say, either I'll fix and rehab for within this parameters, or I don't, or I won't start, or something like that. And some people might just say, it depends on the circumstance, on the person. Clearly, we don't want to not help. The early years of my career was spent fixing and repairing, but it was sister locks. So it was within the same foundational method of starting with interwoven lock, but they have variations that we don't have in Microloc Mastery. The different rotations and all different numbers, like we don't have those same things. So there was some of that I was seeing, but fundamentally we still were doing an interwoven lock. So, but even within that, you can still think about if you're building clientele or you have a certain standard of quality that you would like your clients to have, and if you're not able to maintain that, you might have to think about how you will move forward with what type of work you're going to be doing. I've had people come in and I learned the hard way, and I did a lot of work fixing some work. And she came in for the repair session. She came in and said she loved it. It looked so much better. And she went back to her person. And that person was able to say, this is my client's work. And it's not about ego and stuff, but it's like, do you want to build up your own clients that way and make it clear? So what we would do, another thing, is if you're going to have clients come to you, we don't do bouncing, hopping back and forth, unless within our network and you have that agreement with that stylist. Like I'll do a couple of sessions of this, and then there's an understanding versus people hopping around for you to do this really high quality work, maybe at a different price point, and then go back to someone else to do the basics. Like we had a way to mitigate that so that we wouldn't be the cleanup woman doing back-breaking work and have it not really feel valued. As much as we want to help, we have to put parameters in there everywhere. Just sometimes people don't intentionally mean to do. It's just like their budget only can allow for your kind of quality work, maybe for that time, and then I'm penny pinching with someone, and the other. Like it's just you gotta. There's ways to do that, and we do talk about that because we have a whole pricing workshop. Alex, I don't know if you were in it, but we're going to do another part to it, and we talk about these things because I feel that the pricing that we do is also contingent upon the foundational standards that you are operating within. So you better not pay me or anyone else who could learn who I've been braiding. I taught myself how to braid at 8 to charge you to make some squares really nice and even and put some braids in there and do something rotation pattern I picked off of somewhere and I didn't maybe not really invest into. I don't know. And charge you the same level that I would charge you for someone who was invested into the training, learned a technique that you're going to be using to maintain the roots, learned it for the whole entire lock, how to refine it, how to get it nice and consistent, even and cylindrical and neat and seamless for the rest of your life with those locks. I would not charge like so the pricing we make it based on the standards of a certified pro doing ideal methods. And then even extension work, everything builds upon this great foundation. I even showed in the webinar last week of extension work. I've been doing extension work since 2009. The first full head, I had to figure out how to create that option. And then but two strand twist and braids weren't what was coming across our clients at that time. So if someone did come in and I had to create an extension with this method to look like it's evolving in a certain way, an interwoven lock would look, but I'm attaching it to a different type of like it's so many reasons why consistency in a standard is so important for the work that you're going to build on top of that for there was another point I wanted to make about locking stages. The documents that I give, I think is a free training where I give it. But definitely in the boot camp, we go over the locking stage. I give you documents and we break down those stages and what that looks like. That's still based on the ideal methods and standards, not two strand twister braids. They're going to evolve differently. And so we could talk about how it might impact. So like braids take an extremely long time to start looking like locks. And there's people who have 7 inches of new growth and still have a fully intact braid from whoever did that install or whatever. And you can see the line of demarcation and you can see the fluffiness and even the sizing is off. The braids, it tends to be a lot of inconsistent sizing. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out in my mind what that could be attributed to because I know braids may look like they're more consistent in sizing, but the base and the amount of hair might be different. So when it turns into a lock, it can be like a fat lock, a skinny lock. It just kind of is not as consistent. That's different. I can't say, oh yeah, by 3-month mark it's gonna do this because it might not. It's gonna be a different process. And twist too. Some don't make it to 3 months. They all come out, and that happens a lot. And some people are doing repair methods along a lot. So if you're doing a repair method, the similar technique you're using to start the whole lock, just learn the whole lock. Just learn the whole technique. You're gonna love the results much better. And if you're not with it and you're like, I don't care, just know they can be bigger. Just know what to prepare for. But I think a lot of the really pretty result, like people who have them, when people have had them for a long time and they look really nice and neat. Excuse me, there's a few people that I was Instagram friends with, and other fields of business. It's just really nice. I can see, oh my gosh. And I'm like, it's very, very high quality work. And it's great because she's this person I'm thinking of has such a huge following for her business stuff. And it just completes her look. It completes her it fine-tunes her, like what do you call it? It shows a level of refinement. That's what I was trying to say about to her. Not to say if it just shows. I don't know how to explain it. Just like wearing a suit or dressing up, how that makes it pulls things together in a certain way. It kind of gives people this certain impression. I'm not saying it doesn't if your hair is. I'm just hair kind of completes. I've been growing my hair out of a fade, and I had to place a holding fee to have the widely known brand established. But okay. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. I see. You had to wait for your hair to grow, and then so you place the holding fee like a deposit. Okay. All right. Well, I think it's good if the person is great. And their assistant lactation, or I think that you might be talking about. I think it's fine. If the quality is good, that's really all I'm speaking on. It's only gets me mad. I start to like say, who is that? What is that? When it's like consistently, it stands out in my head. Like somebody like advertising your services and telling me that you did 2 strand twists and interlock the roots. But I'm like, do you know how to do the whole lock that way? Why would you choose to do it that way? Why would you choose to do it that way? If you're a loctician, you believe stumbling on your channel was meant to be. Thank you. I believe so. We're all aligned. You're all here. Still watching me. Even though some people is good. Even though I've been rambling for over an hour and I'm about to shut it down. I'm tired of fixing, not taking anymore. And we don't want people to burn out and lose this passion. Like, I know the light is so weird on me right now. Lord, I'm hitting everything. My hands is like like I got jumbo hands. I just hit everything. I'm tired. I'm ready to go. You don't want people to feel burnt out and discouraged. You don't want clients to feel burnt out and discouraged. People to feel like, oh my gosh. I've had somebody come to me. She enrolled in our trainer, but she had 3 sets of locks installed. She took each one out. I mean, I don't know. It may be more to it, but I still wouldn't invest 3 times. I invested 1 time in 2007, got this done in 2008, and still wearing the same locks 2008 from my 20s to my 40s. Grown woman with a child, been through hell and back. And the one thing that I was very happy that stayed consistent amongst the chaos, oh, my nose was that I felt like at least I feel good about my hair. You know what I mean? Gaining a bunch of weight, going through life, feeling like life is just hitting you. Y'all know that feeling, especially as a Black woman. It's just like we gotta put the world on our shoulders and be like cool with it. And it's like, no. But little things like this matter to some people. But I know it would definitely I would have felt some type of way if it was like, oh, I gotta fix this, and I aligned with my loctician. I felt like it was magic. I'm very spiritual. I do feel alignment happens. Just put it out there and surrender. And I went to her. There was no social media. She didn't even have a website. She could have had a website in 2007. She didn't. I went to another person, the brand, Sister Locks brand. I went there. I was like, oh, she's nice. I was like, can it get a little better? Like for me, I wanted the oomph. Like, yes. I saw somebody walking around in the supermarket in the Park Slope Food Co-op in Brooklyn. I'll never forget. This lady was checking out her stuff, probably irritated. Here I come. Hi, I like your hair. Who gets that? I know y'all get that. And you're like, oh my God, I just want to go home. So she's like, thank you. And I was like, I'm sorry, who does it? And she was ready to go. And she's like, why are you talking to me? Oh my God. And she was like, it was Kimora, and she lives in Harlem, and she doesn't take she only takes referrals. You have to tell her I sent you. And she gave me like a card with a number. Like it was this how old school it was. And I was like, okay. And I called her up and she's like, who referred you? And I was like, so I saw her at Park Slope, and she was like, oh, and I went to her. She had bigger sister locks. They were bigger, but I didn't care. It was like everything felt right. She didn't even have pictures to show me. I saw that one client. That client's hair was the level of perfection that I didn't even think could be achieved. So when y'all pros are doing a great job and you're showing other people the level of quality of work, how hair could look, even the same texture, just similar texture. She has shorter hair. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, my jaw dropped. I had never seen hair so meticulously and beautiful in my life at that point. And locks, because I was like, I don't know if I want locks, but I want them small. If I want them small, and I want them to look nice and refined. That's the only way I was gonna get them. I didn't want like a messy or big locks. That's my preference. So I feel like because I put it out there, I ran into this woman, and I was like the last client Kimora took. And then she's also became my mentor. The doors just kept opening up. I had a little side hustle hair business doing twists, and stuff, but I was like, I want to incorporate this. I'm a full-fledged social worker, but I want to do this. And invested $2,500. She was like, this is how much it costs. And it was no online program. She didn't have her own tools. So that's how, I distributed for Nappy Lock. That's how people know. And I had to go in person. But I believe so much in her work. I believe so much in the quality. I was a client of hers, and I had issues with feeling. I was like, what is going on with my hair? I was like, this is short. I have a full round face. Even when I was smaller at the time and younger, I was still like struggling. And the whole process, even the little hiccup of me feeling like, oh, I don't know if I like this. It was very quick, and everything else just went so beautifully. And it was so much more to it than just the service of the hair. So it was like everything else, all the other opportunities that came out of it. I say all that to say alignment is powerful, because it's never just for the one thing that brought y'all together. It's for so much more. It was so much more spiritual nourishment and letting her touch my hair. It was such a bond. I don't let people touch my hair like many people, right? You get that one person is why you usually want to stay with them. But there's a lot to say about intuition. There's a lot to say about following your gut. There's a lot to say. Maybe the other lady might have charged less or something. But don't penny pinch for what you want. Because if it means that much to you, get it done right. It will take you further than trying to do something really quick and short and then opening up the door to who knows what. So like kind of go for what you really want and give that to yourself. And that's the whole story about alignment. I have because I waited a year. I didn't just jump into the training. I waited to go through the process. And then I was like, and even then, she still paced me. She was like a mentor. So it was more than just, I'm going to train you. Give me a $2,500. I share how much. She doesn't train or do it anymore. I don't care about sharing how much I paid because I tell you that return is limitless. It's endless. And when you start looking at investments like that, she was well worth I would pay $2,500 for her again, even with YouTube and all this nonsense. You know what I mean? For that level of what value it brought and opportunities. So I know y'all, my goodness, our stories are so similar. Oh, yes. Okay. So I was like getting on here Monday. I guess I got work to do, but I guess I felt like I was just gonna go with it. Next time on Mondays I try to go live around like 3 or 4. And I usually try, sometimes I queue up a whole presentation. The demo that I showed y'all before, that was an Ask Me Monday, which I have a series called Ask Me Monday, but I don't really sometimes call it that because I was like, is that corny or not? It's sometimes hard to gauge if I don't want to waste my time or your time. So I'm like, if y'all want me, but I felt like the information seemed to be like what people want. People watched it and they did comment. So I try to do something of value, but today I did have announcements. So I didn't queue up a lot of visuals. That's why I'm struggling with showing y'all stuff because it's not queued up and my second screen is not working right. So I try to make this space for announcements and updates and tips. I do have some tips I want to share. But join the Facebook group if you like. And with that being said, I'm going to close out for now. Thank y'all for tuning in and being patient because this light is like, no, no. Yeah. Yes. And I look forward to y'all check y'all emails. Check your emails. If I see you on Thursday, cool. All right. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye. You're welcome. I'll try to leave slowly, like fading in the distance.